So I am in this institution for the last 22 or 23 years. But when I joined this Jayadeva Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences and Research in 1989, at that time there were only 2 or 3 cardiologists in entire Bangalore city. Today it may be 100. Today there are 100 cardiologists, but in 1989 there were only about 2 to 3 DM qualified cardiologists in the entire Bangalore city. There was one cardiologist in Jayadeva Institute, other 2 were in the private practice. So, of course, at that time it is all cardiac surgery dominated scenario. So, cardiologist role was just to treat some heart attack cases medically and do angiograms, and 90% of the procedures were with surgery. At that time, the so-called angioplasty and other interventional cardiology procedures were not there in the year 1989. Only mid-1995 these innovations came and they become popular, and today nearly 50% of cases which were treated earlier by surgery, they are treated by these cardiologists. So even when we came here, as a new cardiologist, there was a lot of resistance actually from our own physician forum, because this DM cardiology is considered as a super specialty, and till then only physicians were called as cardiologists. So there was nothing like a separate specialty. So there was lot of resistance. Even some senior physicians, they are not ready to accept that change. A new specialty has come, new course has come, and they know these people know better than us. So there was lot of resistance, discouragement used to be there, and some people used to suppress whenever. So I think within 6 months to 1 year I could able to make a huge impact. So my dream at that time was, because in United States and Europe and also in few centers in India, they have started this angioplasty and valvuloplasty programs. At that time in Jayadeva Institute of Cardiology we were not doing all those things. It was in that old Victoria Hospital complex. So then always it was again bothering me. So now we have to do all these latest procedures in our own institute, in our own city. Then I went for some WHO fellowship course to United States, Birmingham, Alabama. Then I stayed there for 3 months. Then I came back. Then we started this all angioplasty and valvuloplasty program in the year 1993-94. So at that time, of course, the only very small number of open heart surgeries are being done in this institute. It was an institute. It's fine. At least. As an autonomous institute, it was a little different from General Medical College Hospital. It was doing some decent work with all limitations, with all obstacles and hazards. So from 1995 onwards, of course, then I became an assistant professor. Then in the year 1996, I became professor. So then it was going on. But again, it was not able to make a huge national or an international impact. It was doing quietly some service, whatever was possible at that time. Then 2006 I became director of this institute till now. So this is my 6th year of my directorship. So after I took over as a director of this institute, there has been a sea change, and I have brought in a corporate culture in a government setup. So my objective and my dream was, we should provide the highest quality care at an affordable cost to a common man, and the 5-star comfort should be given to them. we know that there are some budgetary limitations, financial constraints, everything. Despite all those things, so that was my dream when I took over as director. And at the same time, this should become an institute of excellence, and this should become academically stronger. So on one side, the patient care should improve, and on the other side, we should be able to improve our academic activities, research activities. On the third front, even on the administrative core, we should be able to make some, important changes, so that one should not, because there are a lot of stigma attached to a government hospital, because their public relations may not be good, patients' involvement, interaction may not be good, concern will not be there, cleanliness will not be there, and also, the reputation and the trust of the hospitals will not be there. Those are all the stigma attached to. So I have been successful in removing all this stigma attached to this. Today we have reached a stage, many patients who visit our hospital do not believe this is a government hospital. So many will ask, sir, who is the owner of this hospital? Then we say, the government is the owner of the hospital, I am the director. Then they realize, how can you do this sort of a thing? See, today, after I took over, we have recorded 300% growth. So we are having 540 beds. So Jayadeva Institute of Cardiology, with 540 beds exclusively for cardiac care, makes this institution as the largest heart care destination in Southeast Asia, number one. And we have today 40 cardiologists, 25 cardiothoracic surgeons, and 25 cardiac anesthetists. So this is the biggest number of cardiac related faculty under one roof. No institution in the country has got 40 cardiologists under one roof, and so many surgeons under one roof. We are also running country's biggest postgraduate course in cardiology. That is 21 seats in DM cardiology and 12 seats in cardiothoracic surgery, 8 seats in DM cardiac anesthesia. The objective of running this biggest postgraduate course in cardiology is to create this professional manpower, is to produce more cardiologists for not only for our state, for the rest of the country also. And on the procedural front and other profile of the patients today, daily we see more than 1,000 outpatients, and we do about daily 75 angioplasty put together. This is again the biggest angioplasty procedure performing center in the country. So daily we do about 75 cath lab procedures, which includes angiogram, angioplasty, and about 14 open heart surgeries are done daily. So, and echocardiogram, we do daily about 600 echocardiograms. So considering this volume, whether it is angioplasty, open heart surgery, or whether it's echocardiography, so this makes it as one of the world's leading cardiac center. And we have also got some other subspecialties like electrophysiology we have. Electrophysiology is a department where heart rhythm related problems are attended to. Then we have got a very active infant cardiac surgery. Because of all cardiac surgery, one of the toughest of all cardiac surgery is performing a open heart surgery below 1 year of age. So even that program is active. Even children as old as 15 days or 1 month old, they are undergoing open heart surgery. And it's not just the volume I am talking. See, on one side we are turning a huge volume of procedures, but quality is maintained. So quality, quantity, charity, subsidy, humanitarian approach, everything we are taking together. And we have introduced some unique schemes and unique procedures in our institute. For example, we have what is called Hrudaya Sanjeevani scheme, under which a poor patient below the poverty line undergoes free open heart surgery and angioplasty. Last year alone, we have done about 2,000 procedures, including open heart surgery and angioplasty, free of cost for a common man. So you can always ask how it is possible to do all these things despite a limited grants from the government. See, 50% of the grants come from the government, another 50% we mobilize out of our own internal resources. Internal resources means because of our very good quality services, we are attracting rich patients, affluent class. We are also catering to the government employees and the bank employees, various health insurance cardholders. As a result, we are mobilizing money from them, and it is working as a cross subsidy. So we take this amount from these paying category patients and transfer it on to poor patients. And we have also got what is called treatment first concept. In the sense, anybody coming into a cardiac emergency for admission, whether he has money, no money, whether he has documents, no documents, they are attended to. We just admit them and we initiate the treatment. Afterwards we start asking money. Because this is very, very important because when somebody has got a major cardiac event or a cardiac problem, even 1 minute is also important. So within 1 minute, either they can be alive, they can be dead. So with that concept, we have this treatment first concept without asking for any advance amount. Another important thing is we have introduced what is called a patient satisfaction survey, because ultimately whatever we do, patient satisfaction index is a very, very important thing. Patient satisfaction index. So we have a third party agency which is going to assess and also collect the feedback from the patients after discharge. This third party agency visits patients who have been treated here as inpatients in their respective home, collect the feedback about the hospital, whether it may be with respect to patient care, the nursing care, the billing, the diet, the medicines, and the doctor's visits, everything. So as per this patient satisfaction survey, we also came to know about 8 to 10% of patients who are not able to take medicines regularly because of financial constraint. So on one hand, we are getting feedback from them about our own performance, assessing our own performance, and at the same time, those 8-10% who are not able to take medicine, we have provided medicines free of cost to those things, so that whatever procedures we have done, if they don't take medicines properly, then they get into complications, and whatever procedures we have done goes waste. That is one thing.